Don't just celebrate your deliverance, anticipate your destiny. Sometimes we get so focused on what we've overcome that we stop and never go towards where we're supposed to go. This is part of the entire narrative of the Bible. It's not just that you overcame, it's that there's a promise for you.
Welcome to the HHP Podcast. My name is Chris Franke, and I am the senior pastor of HFF.church in Oklahoma City. Join me and others from around the country as we talk all things Bible, church, and family. We may be right, we may be heretical, but that's for you to decide. Drop a like, a share, a comment, subscribe, and let's get to it.
It's hard not to just think of, how do I find myself justified or sanctified or in right standing with God? But sometimes it's a lot deeper when it comes to actually trying to implement what was God trying to do in each small nuance of testimonies, the feasts, the festivals. I mean, ultimately 50,000 foot level, we can sum it up. All comes down to a man dying on a cross, saving the world. But we're going to continue with our bullet points on unpacking the Omer, unpacking why this is important. And so this week I want to pick up with bullet point number 3. The Omer and the time of counting the Omer between first fruits, which comes at the conclusion of unleavened bread. Almost always. There's leap years and stuff like that, but almost traditionally always it's Resurrection Day. It's the day by which the first is brought to God. And then the 50 days into Shavuot, Pentecost. Number 3 is to keep us focused on the giver, not just the gift. Israel had a holiness code that created ceremonial, ritualistic laws, and those came with offerings. And they had to happen over and over and over again. And so the focus was somewhat traditionally on the gift. This is what we must bring. Well, we see that absolutely in the Western church. Everybody's focused on the gift. Sometimes it's the perversion of the giving of the gift of the offering. It's, well, if you bless me with a gift, then I will bless you with a gift, and the Lord will rain down abundance. And then the far other extreme is, well, tithes, offerings, all of that. Those are all done away with. We don't have any requirements. We don't have to do any of that. That's both sides, and all of that's really kind of missing the point. It's not just about the gift. It's about the giver. So, for example, I love my wife. My wife is the most important human being to me. I don't really care if she wants a gift. I don't really care if I feel obligated to give her a gift. I don't really ever think about those things. Why? Because I love her. So I want to give gifts to her. Why? Because I'm always focused on the one I'm giving the gifts to. I'm focused on how much I love my wife. How much when I see something at a store and I'm like, oh, that's perfect for my wife. It's not about, oh, what's the cost or how awesome is this gift? It's about her. Well, how much better when we're talking about God? In ancient Israel, this was a harvest season, the barley first and then the wheat. And we get so caught up in whether the barley is Aviv or whether it's this, that, the other. Who cares? You're missing the point. The people were working hard in the fields, but God didn't want them to forget who had provided the rain, the sun, the soil, the seed, and the breath for them to be able to do it. See, it's very easy for us to get caught up in the fact of, we did this. No, you didn't do anything. God put forth so many sources of provision for you to have what you have. And that's why counting the Omer kept their eyes on the source of the provision, the giver, not just the produce or the gift. For us today, this is a reminder that our success, our growth, and our fruitfulness come from God, not just from our own effort. And then number 4, to build expectation for the outpouring. In Acts chapter 1 through 2, Jesus told his disciples to wait in Jerusalem after the resurrection. He didn't tell them how many days to wait, but we know that it ended up being 50 and that it aligned perfectly with Shavuot. That wasn't an accident. It wasn't a coincidence. Jesus was the first fruits, and the Holy Spirit poured out on the same day as the Torah that was originally given during Pentecost. So when we count the Omer, it's more than just a calendar. The calendar almost becomes irrelevant at that point. It's a countdown to power. It is to build anticipation and expectation for a fresh move of what? Nothing you do. It's a fresh move of God, the source, the provider, both in us and through us. Should be a time of humbling. It should be a time of refining. It should remind us that on our own, we were always and still are incapable of producing the proper fruit on our own. No amount of effort. Our success, our growth, our fruit comes from God. And in that, I find so much peace.
If this podcast has blessed you, please consider supporting by visiting our website and making a donation. For more resources, blogs, podcasts, please visit us at HFF.church. Looking for a church home? Join us for Saturday Church in OKC every Saturday morning, starting at 10:30.